Hello, everyone. Welcome to our third installment of this week's Detox Series for Living the Journey. I'm CJ Sanchez.
And I'm Jenna Goyad Harris.
And we're back again with our gracious guest, Miss Nyssa Fox of Casa. And this segment, we're going to touch on detoxing the home and kind of going over some tips and suggestions from Miss Nyssa on how to get that going in our homes. So I'll turn it over to you and give us some insight on how we can really clear our, because we've touched on the body, we've touched on the mind and on everything regarding for trying meditation, and now I think where we lay our heads and spend a lot of our time is also a place where we want to make sure we keep clean and detoxed. So please let us know where to start with that.
So before this became a passion of mine, I thought I lived in a pretty clean home. I thought that, I'm green, right? I have most of my stuff in my home is green. And then really starting to peel back the layers, really realize how toxic of a space that I was living in. And we don't realize, right, how toxic our environments are.
Yeah.
And, like I shared in one of the other, I don't remember which one we were talking in, but whether you're eating out at restaurants, whether you're buying food at the grocery store, whether you're breathing the air outside of your home, it's toxic every single place. And what's a little bit scarier is that the air in our home is actually 2 to 5 times more toxic than the air outside of our home.
Oh my God.
And so
I know that.
I'd have to give you like the exact fun fact that the air inside of your home is actually more toxic. Your home is more toxic than the environment outside of your home.
Less oxygen, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, it's so we're gonna go through. I've got quite a few things that we can start playing with, right? Things that are pretty approachable, because I know that it can get really big, right? God, and then the last thing you want to do is go, because I literally went to my linen closet and threw all of my my non-organic sheets, and I went to my towel closet and I threw all of my non-organic towels. But truly, I mean, you can get a little bit obsessive and a little bit compulsive about it. Again, like any of the other processes, progress over perfection. If you want things in your house, don't go throwing everything away because you won't have anything left. But some of the main places to start are, I like to think about things that we breathe, right, on a more regular basis. And number one, we all clean our homes. And so can we choose more green cleaning products, things that don't have the fumes and the emissions that, let's just say, Clorox or Lysol or those really harsh products have. So that would be first and foremost, I think, on the list is change your cleaning products to a more green, cleanly, friendly cleaner.
Right.
Okay.
Another one to me that's really important is, we live in South Texas. We have roaches, we have bugs. Most of us get our house fumigated, right? So can we find a more organic, more clean version to use for pest control?
Well, tell me more about that, because that's an area that I haven't even thought about. We just had someone come spray today.
Yeah.
What are the other options?
So granted, right? I mean, it just depends on the level of, of your
Effort
situation and in your home. I mean, if you've got, a lot of bugs or you've got a lot of roaches, there's things, but I mean, there's things such as little sticky traps that you can use for bugs that you can put underneath the kitchen sink, which is, what I like to do in my home, because A, I have dogs, and B, I don't really want to smell all of the emissions of all the stuff that they spray along the edges of the house.
Okay.
There is other healthier versions like diatomaceous earth, which you can use, which is a great alternative to sprinkle in your yard.
Okay.
I know fleas are a big thing in South Texas, but there are other ways. There are natural and organic methods that can be used for pesticides, and even for that, for like doing fertilizer on your ground.
Yeah,
So
nice.
again,
And we can share some of that stuff in this episode on our post on some of those, maybe some brands that you recommend, just so
yeah,
a starting
absolutely.
point that we can look into. Yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Continuing on, a lot of us do home repairs and
Mhm.
remodels, and we do paints on the wall, and we don't really think about twice about what we're breathing into our lungs. So really important that you use a non-VOC paint, so stuff that is not giving off all these extra fumes. And
But that's just when we're initially painting, right? Like if we moved into a home and the paint's already on the wall, is that still like coming off of the walls?
so it's, I would be
Err on the side of caution for that.
I would just be cautious. And what I'll say, and I'll kind of bounce off of the comment, anytime that you think that there's a product that you're bringing home that's not organic or not clean or has fire retardant on it or has a lot of emissions, it's nice to leave the product outdoors and let it do its off-gassing before bringing it into the house. And kind of the rule of thumb is to leave it out there for about 48 hours.
That makes sense.
And that's everything. I mean, that's like if you buy a new piece of furniture, or if you buy a comforter that's non-organic, or if you dry clean your clothes. I mean, that it doesn't get any more potent than that.
Really?
Let your dry cleaning stay out in the garage for at least 24 to 48 hours hung up.
Whoa.
So that it can off gas and let all of the fumes
All
go.
things that we can start doing too.
Yeah, so that you don't have to bring that into your house.
Wow, I had no idea. Like the dry clean. Oh, I dry clean my clothes.
Yeah, I don't dry clean anything, by the way. I'm a firm believer that, whether it's cashmere or silk or cotton or whatever it may be, it can be put in the washer. It can be hand washed. It can be washed with the right detergents. That's another place, another area that I'm a huge stickler on. So what are you washing your clothes in? What are you washing your sheets in? If you think about it, we spend more time in our bed than we do any other place.
Yeah.
And if you're, rolling around in sheets that have been washed in Tide, or I won't, I shouldn't have said that, but sorry, Tide. But if there's anything that you're washing your clothes in that has chemicals, right? That has sulfates or has things that is not good for our skin.
Natural.
Like and that's another great place. That's another great thing to talk about is you've got to learn how to read labels, because no different than when you go to the grocery store and read a meat label and it says natural chicken, and it's like, okay, really, what am I?
What's
am
natural?
I? Yeah, what is a natural chicken? Am I a natural because it has wings and little feet, or it's not natural because it actually has like a tail that goes 10 feet long? Anyway, that's another topic, another fun topic, another episode. But yeah, so really making sure that what you're washing your sheets in, what you're washing your clothes in, is a really clean, natural cleanser that doesn't have all the dyes, that doesn't have all the sulfates. Things that we can do, like small little changes that we can make, fabric softener. Fabric softener is like a big no-no.
And dryer sheets too.
Dryer sheets too. It just seeps into the clothes, and then it just lingers, and now those clothes are staying on your body, and they're there, for the course of the day. And then now you go and jump in your bed, and you're in the sheets that are also have been washed in, a non-organic or a chemical ladened soap. So that's another really important place to kind of look. If you have the means, I would highly recommend some kind of a water filtration system.
Okay.
Our water is really potent, has a lot of chemicals. You find lead, you find mercury, you'll find lots of chlorine in it. And God, like what a difference when we had ours installed. Everything from washing my hair to washing my face to washing my clothes.
Wow.
Just really made a huge difference in the quality of our water. And then if you can, take it a step further and get a water system, which I'll share with you guys,
so we can link it.
So the individual that we've used does a great job. And you like right next to your kitchen sink faucet, you have another little faucet that'll dispense your water, and it's alkalinized, and they come and they add the right amount of salt to it on a regular basis, so you have really good clean drinking water. Because I'll go into another place, drinking from plastic. So really trying to minimize the amount of plastic that you have in your house. I know, if you want things, then you have to kind of keep some of it, and then slowly but surely, and or you can just do or you can do a full purge, right? You can say, okay, like I'm getting rid of all of this, I'm recycling this, and I'm just going to start from scratch. Now, so often, more so often than ever, so many things are BPA free. So you don't have the bad chemicals inside of the plastic that would then leach into your food or beverage. So really,
so there are options in that regard.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Very
you
cool.
can get, so a lot of these, and I don't think Aquafina is one of them, I could be mistaken, but a lot of the water bottles, like for sure Fiji, it's BPA free. I know that, oh God, there's a couple of water companies that I do know have a BPA free bottle.
Very cool.
So really, you know, just being more mindful of what you're
Absolutely.
drinking out of, what you're putting your leftovers in. Especially if you're putting your leftovers in something that's full of BPA, and then you stick that BPA-free container inside the microwave, and then you're really getting a doozy. So that would be another one. Easy things, right, that don't cost a whole lot of money. Potted plants. Potted plants purify your air. So, you know, a potted plant in your bedroom is a really great place to have, or in your living room, or a place where you spend a lot of time, especially like a room where you're sleeping. If you have the ability, right, we're in South Texas, get a little warm, but if you have the ability, open up your windows and let the air recycle itself. Remember, it's more toxic inside than it is outside.
Right.
So let the air recycle itself, let the clean air come in and let the dirty air go out. You know, I could go into a whole segment on just personal, kitchen. I think we've hit a lot of them as far as, you know, the things that we're putting our food in, the cleaning supplies, the water that we find, all of those kind of things are pretty big in the kitchen. I mean, you could start really, if you like wanted to get heavy duty, you could start detoxing all of your foods that have gluten or that have soy or that have citric acid. But
that's more where I wanted to go, but I know that that's like a whole nother topic because we can get really lengthy on that. But
especially when, you know, if you're just trying to scratch the surface and you're new to this and you're just like going to dip your toe or dip your, not even your foot, you're going to dip a toe or two into the water. Like you don't want to end up with a pantry that you're going to have to restock, or you don't want to have to end up with,
like, what am I going to eat?
Like
nothing left.
But these are all things that you can start to do that aren't like a huge change. They're not going to, you know, break the bank. Two more that I'm like really big stickler on, and then I'll leave you with these. So the first one before the big one, which I'm like, anybody that knows me knows this is like a rule. But before that is any kind of plugins, any kind of candles, even perfumes for that matter. So if you're, you know, like running out the door and you're loading yourself with all these perfumes, just know that whatever you're putting on your skin that's not natural, that doesn't have, that's got chemical in it, you're breathing that all day long. All day long, as is it going to be in your clothes, and then as it's going to be,
and if you put it on your skin, even worse.
If it's on your body, it kind of is even worse, because anything that goes into your skin, our largest organ, is going to go right into your bloodstream. It's going to go right into your body. So that one's a big one. So plugins, any candles, any air fresheners. It always gets me when I like walk into a doctor's office and I'm like blown away by the smell of lavender or something. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then every outlet there's a plug-in and I'm just going like, oh my God, like cringing.
What's your alternative to that?
What's my alternative? I love diffusers. Just, you know, you can get a doTERRA. I love doTERRA diffusers. I mean, they're, you know, probably a little bit on the more pricey end, but you can get any really just kind of cheapish diffuser and just let it essential oils in there. And again, making sure that you buy good quality essential oils, because then if not, you're kind of right back. You're right back to square one. But diffusers are a good alternative. Soy candles are also nice and clean. I
recently bought one at a market.
Yeah,
a farmer's market.
There you go. Perfect. So soy candles are really good. And then my last one that I'm going to leave you with, and this is like, y'all know me. This
like,
is
what am I doing wrong?
No shoes in the house. No shoes in your house.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just got to I'll leave you with this. Whatever your feet touch when you're out there in the world whether you're walking through the parking lot of HEB or whether you're walking at the park where dogs have been or people have been and there wasn't a bathroom around, or you're walking into the bathroom of a restaurant. And then you turn around and you walk into your house, whatever contaminants that you have stepped on out there are now being brought into your home.
I feel gross now.
Are being brought.
Don't judge us.
Are being brought into your home. And then, I don't know, my brain kind of like works weirdly. I've always said this.
It works beautifully.
Yeah,
it works weirdly, differently, but I'm unique in my own way. But, I just think about it. People, I see this on a regular basis. People are walking around with their shoes on. They walk into their bedroom, their safe place, their sanctuary. They're walking around their bed. Then they go take off their shoes in their closet. Then they walk on their bathroom floor where they've had their shoes, right? They walk around their bed. Then they get into their hopefully organic sheets. Hopefully they're sheets that have been washed in clean soap. But now those dirty feet that have been at HEB or been at, a restaurant or been wherever they've been are now in your bed. And so just being really mindful of the no shoe rule. And, my husband and I went to Japan last year, 2 years ago, I guess it was. I lost a year with COVID, but like 2 years ago, we went to Japan.
We just skipped that year.
Yeah.
And it is such a rule. You cannot wear your shoes anywhere. Like there is literally little shelves outside of your bedroom for you to place your shoes because they're not even allowed in the bedrooms. And this is hotels. Yeah. So I think it speaks volumes. I really do. And yeah, I know that that's like a lot to swallow. And okay, you don't want to do all of them at once because it seems like too much to bite off, too much to chew. But pick one or pick two and start there. And do that for a week or two and try it on, see how it works. And then you know what?
Add a little more.
Add a little bit more and then bite off another and then bite off another. And before you know it, you've completely detoxed your house. You've completely detoxed your kitchen and your pantry and your life.
Which seems to be the theme from this week's like conversations that we've been having, and it's just starting, right? Having an open mind to just baby steps, like you mentioned in the first episode. Kind of really just trying it out and see what works or what fits, and then evolving from there. So I
just get curious, have an open mind, and just start
and just do it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think that's great. Progress over perfection.
That's absolutely that. And, so for me, and I'm going to kind of wrap it up too, but I have started this journey of removing toxins from my home, and I feel like I've already done a lot, but then there's still so much. And I still feel good about it though, because when you become aware of everything that is toxic, you're like, oh, I just removed like 10% of the toxicities in my home. Oh, I just removed another 5%. So that's kind of how I think about it in my mind.
It's better than not doing it at all.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so, and the other thing is a lot of the things that you mentioned on your list, I hadn't even thought about, and they don't cost anything to do. So it's not like I can't do it because I don't want to spend the money on it. So I think there's a lot of things on that list that I want to start working on. And I think there's still a lot of room to grow in this journey of removing toxins from my own home. So.
Absolutely, I'm ready to start with the 5% because I'm already thinking like where I would start looking at.
Yeah. Think about it like that, like in percentages. So as you're making small improvements or you're taking some of these suggestions, just think it's a little bit less than you had before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And share with us. Let us know where you plan to start, and if you're already starting in some form or another, we'd like to hear about it.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Living the Journey. Nyssa, thank you so much for hanging out with us and for participating in this mini series.
So much fun.
We're going to do some more talking about yoga. We're going to talk about other ways to improve your life.
You'll become a regular on Living the Journey for sure if you'll put up with us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're Living the Journey RGB. It's been awesome having you. We're so grateful that you joined us for an episode, and we look forward to so many more. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.